All right, back here on Sports Overtime, as always on Sunday nights, talking a little high school football. Jane Bos, the Grand Rapids Press, week 2 of the playoffs now coming up this weekend. So I guess the first thing we want to throw at you, as we think back on this last Friday, of course, we all think of rain, we all think of mud. What else do you remember about this Friday, and what at the end of the night made you go, that was interesting?
Well, there was no pot of gold at the end of this rainbow from the rain.
There was sun today.
Oh,
Thank goodness.
Not Friday night.
Yeah, not Friday night.
The OK Gold did not do well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they are, one team won, the Caledonia, the champion won, and they had to come back in overtime to do it. 4 teams lost. I mean, last week we were talking 5 OK Gold teams are in, record, amazing and phenomenal, and then 4 of them lost. So
we had Ottawa Hills, Hastings, Forest Hills, Eastern, Catholic Central, all on the short end. Any one of those 4 really stick out to you, really surprising, go, boy, they really should have won a game or 2 here and made a better run?
Well, Hastings, everyone was talking about them and all the offense they had. I saw them play a week ago. They had almost 500 yards of offense. Byron Center just shut them down.
Okay. Plenty of West Michigan teams obviously still alive, even though the field's cut in half, and we talked a lot about the OK Red. And let's start there. Look at your playoff matchups for this coming Friday, and we'll begin in Division 1 with a great OK Red matchup. Grand Haven at 9-1. Taking on Rockford at 10-0. Of course, Rams won the regular season, meeting 14-0. Talk a little about this game, Jane. It's been a great season for Grand Haven, and they get a chance to obviously beat the one team that put the one mark on their record.
Well, Rockford looked vulnerable, I think, against East Kentwood again. They've looked vulnerable now for a few weeks in a row. Granville looked really good against them for a half. Rockford has looked like they might lose. They've won so many state championships. People assume they're going to be there. But, Grand Haven could get them here. They could.
I wouldn't be surprised about that because the Rams did win the regular season game 14-0. But I was at Grand Haven's game on Friday. They're tough. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They came out. I mean, they run it well. They pass it. I mean, they go deep. I mean, they seem to have everything clicking here. And you're right. So could we be poised for an upset here possibly? Because you're right. Because Rockford, despite being unbeaten, they've had a few of these games here where they've had to come back and pull it out late. Who knows? We'll see. I guess that's why you line them up and play.
Grand Haven has great athletes. I mean, I would take their athletes of almost any team in the OK Red. That's a bunch of really tough, hard-nosed athletes.
All right, let's go to Division 2 now. We've got some interesting matchups, including the one a lot of people are going to be watching. Muskegon and Lowell, a rematch of last year's showdown. Last year's playoff, they were both unbeaten. Of course, Muskegon won that game 49-14 over the Red Arrows on their way to the Division 2 state crown. Big Reds knocked off Kanawha Hills last weekend 15-6. Red Arrows, no problems with St. John's 42-3. So here we go, Jane. We've got the rematch. We've also got then Caledonia and Portage Central. But Muskegon Lowell, obviously a lot of eyes going to be on that one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about this matchup so many years in a row now, it seems like. And this year, it's just as big as it ever was. Maybe not quite as much hype as last year, but I tell you, both these teams can easily win the Division 2 state title.
In Division 3, Mark Cisco's teams had a great, but the Byron Center Bulldogs, really a great season at 9-1. They draw maybe the toughest task of anybody now at East Grand Rapids, perfect 10-0. Of course, Stevensville Lakeshore at St. Joseph. But let's talk about the first game. East Grand Rapids Bulldogs win 41-6 over the aforementioned Hastings Saxons, and well, they can't get a much more difficult challenge than this, can they?
Well, I think we might have sold Byron Center a little short a week ago when they beat Hastings so easily, but I don't know. I think beating East Grand Rapids might be really tough for anyone at this point. But Byron Center, one of their assistant coaches, is Tom Burrell, who used to coach at Caledonia, who beat East Grand Rapids twice.
Yeah.
Right. No one besides Lowell and Caledonia have beaten East since, what, the year 1871?
So maybe he has the trick there.
Yeah, and 4 head coaches, of course, or former head coaches on that Byron Center squad. So
should be interesting. Byron Center and East Grand Rapids should be a good one coming up. All right, let's go to Division 4, where, of course, we have probably more representation than any other division here. Big Rapids going to be on the road at Kingsford. Central Montcalm out of Stanton going to be playing at Saginaw Swan Valley. Then the real matchups from the Grand Rapids metro area. You've got Holland Christian 8-2 playing at undefeated West Catholic. Maroons 28-6 winners over Spring Lake this weekend. Falcons 25-6 over Catholic Central. Then you've got Hamilton 9-1 making the road trip down south to take on unbeaten Three Rivers. Hawkeyes 28-3 winners over Dowagiac, and also from down south, Marshall taking on Williamston. Both those schools 9-1. So Jane, as we talk about Division 4, wide open. Holland Christian, of course, won it all last year. Then you've got West Catholic in here. I mean, what a loaded division.
It truly is. And Three Rivers, we don't talk about them much because they're kind of south of here, but they are a really solid team. They have a great quarterback. They're well coached, a great tradition. They could come in and they could beat Hamilton. We keep thinking, oh, West Catholic or Holland Christian and Hamilton. You don't know what's going to come out of this region.
Pair of undefeated teams kick off our Division 5 looking. It's Morley Stanwood at home. Surprise, 10-0, hosting Muskegon Heights. Winners yesterday and over Oak Ridge. And then Berrien Springs at Kellogg'sville. The Rockets, we talked all season about them being, well, a surprise team. They remain there at 10-0. 22-8 winners over Hillsdale. Do the Rockets have enough to keep going?
Well, you know what? I just talked to Don Galster today, their coach, and he said they're going to move the game to Kentwood because there's such a big mud bowl over there. And I think that's a great idea. You know, let's give Wyoming some love. I mean, these people have been playing great all year. Nice showcase. Let's show them off at Kentwood. I think it'll be a good place for them to play.
All right, let's buzz through the rest of the divisions. Division 6, 7, and 8. We've got Montague, defending Division 6 state champs, unbeaten, hosting Sanford Meridian. Wildcats 42-0 winners over Lake City this weekend. Constantine going to be at Watervliet. Those all in Division 6. Over in Division 7, Ravenna 8-2 on the road at unbeaten Potterville this coming weekend. Bulldogs 43-14 over Saugatuck. Mendon taking on White Pigeon. Hornets have given up just 21 points all season while scoring 449 points.
That's
and
amazing.
over, I know it is amazing. And over in Division 8, Muskegon Catholic Central on the road at unbeaten Climax. Scots Crusaders 35-0 winners over BC St. Phil. Of course, MCC won the Division 8 state title a year ago. They knocked off Climax in the playoffs on the way. Panthers have not lost a game since. So anything from those last three divisions that strike you?
Well, the Muskegon area looks great again. You know, Ravenna looks great. You know, Montague's going to win it all again. You can book tickets now if you want.
There we go.
There
Montague.
you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Muskegon Catholic
Get your
Central too. Why
tickets.
not? Yeah, I mean, Mike Holmes is a great coach. They could do it again too.
We'll see though.
Yeah, where will you be this week?
I'm going to go to Lowell and watch Muskegon.
All right, I should have figured that.
That
She'll
should be
be
a
at
good one.
Lowell, and you can, of course, read Jane in the Grand Rapids Press and at who'stheboss.com.
There you go.
All
I'm
right.
live.
Tell you what, let's buzz through your top 10 real quick. East Grand Rapids 10-0, Rockford 10-0, West Catholic 10-0. Of course, you got to put the 10-0s up top. Lowell 9-1, Grand Haven 9-1, rounding out the top 5. Second 5, Caledonia, Kellogg'sville, Byron Center, Hamilton, Holland Christian. Oh, the fun begins. Here we go. Week 2 of the playoffs. Jane, it'll be fun. We'll see you this weekend.
Sounds good.
All right.